Welcome to the show. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show presented by mybookie.ag. Lovely to have you along for the ride, even if it is dealer time straight up. But I'm feeling better. That's good. Little Toots decided to wake up just around the same time I did, so super early. And apparently she was scratching her knee in her sleep, so she just had to have a Band-Aid. Had to take care of that. Some dad responsibilities. Usually dad responsibilities are waiting for the tail end of the show at the earliest. Or 7:30 they wait. Not today. Today it's on the clock a little earlier. Double duty, if you will. But welcome in either way. Let me say this. As you guys know, I watch everything, like press conferences, locker room sessions, and all that stuff, because it's the best way to get a good mind or a good idea of the mindset of players and coaches. And even when coaches are trying not to say anything, Nick Sirianni can't help himself. He'll go on for 2-3 minutes on a subject that he just told you he's not going to talk about, that type of thing. So he shows his hand. And I'll say this, it's not fun. It's not the thing I'm like, oh boy, I can't wait to, I do it because it's the information that could be there and what could come out of it. And I always think that if an alien came down from outer space and saw people in a locker room interviewing athletes, and it's their first day on Earth, and they're looking at us, and we're holding our phones up to this athlete. We got cameras on this person. They don't even know it's an athlete. It's this person. It's like all these people are writing down things that they're saying, and then they go somewhere else and they write down things that they say, and then they write stories about what they say, or they do shows about what they say. I always think that alien would be like, so this person that everyone's writing down what they're saying, like they have a cure for some kind of disease, right? Like this is a super important person on Earth that has the answers to all the problems. Like, no, he plays football. Like, what? He plays a game? Like that kind of thing? So I always think there's a silliness about it. However, I really enjoyed, I don't really get joy out of it usually, but I got joy. Like I found myself smiling. Like this is the way this is the way a team is supposed to operate. And two things were the main focus of yesterday, or at least the things that I enjoyed yesterday. One was Nolan Smith talking about Brandon Graham, because Brandon Graham is obviously not playing. His career as an Eagle, his career in general might be over. I'm going to stay on the side of he's coming back for one more year. You can't play at that high level and just be like, well, this is the way it ends. See you later. But I'm coming from a school where I was told by a player about Brian Dawkins. I've told the story before about Brian Dawkins got hurt. I think it was the year he had a stinger. And he was on the sidelines, like yelling at teammates, like in a good way, like trying to, get him going. And there was one play, I think the guy's name was Matt McCoy. And Dawkins went over him after he had a special teams blunder and was like getting in his face a little bit. And after the game, I was interviewing a player, and he said, like we all love Doc, but like if you're not playing, we don't want to hear from you. And I always thought that was stupid because it's Brian Dawkins, man. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. But to hear Nolan Smith talk about the impact of Brandon Graham being at his first game that he couldn't play in due to his torn tricep injury that he suffered against the Rams, and the motivating factor that was there, and how looking at the game through a player who has eyes that have been looking at the game for 15 years really helps a player that has only been looking at the game through eyes that have been looking at the game for 2 years. He's like 15 years versus 2 years. I'm going to listen to the guy with the 15-year eyes. And I thought that was great. And then just in general, the motivating factor of Brandon Graham being there on the sidelines was wonderful. And I'm like, this is great. This shows you how on the same page everybody on this team is. That's a beautiful thing. And then the other was Saquon Barkley talking about Jalen Hurts, because I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. I don't understand that. Well, I understand haters because everybody's got haters. It is the old saying goes, if you don't have haters, you ain't popping, right? But I don't get the idea of Saquon Barkley is awesome, therefore Jalen Hurts sucks. Like, I don't get Saquon's awesome. The offensive line's incredible. Jalen Hurts is lucky to be here. If the Eagles lose a Super Bowl, or if the Eagles lose at getting to a Super Bowl, and if they get bounced out early in the playoffs, it'll be because of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the number one concern on this. If Jalen Hurts is the number one concern on your football team is awesome. It's like if I hear somebody complaining about something very minuscule, like something really stupid, I'll be like, well, if this is a problem, then your life is awesome. If this is something that registers on your radar, then your life is incredible. If Jalen Hurts is a problem, your team's incredible. And I do think that the Philadelphia Eagles have an incredible football team. I will acknowledge that, as I've been saying for weeks now, the most dominant, scary duo in the NFL is Saquon Barkley running behind this offensive line. If you were to go from a single running back to an offensive line, there is nothing more dangerous in football than Saquon Barkley running behind this Jeff Stoutland University graduated offensive line. Nobody wants to face this. Nobody especially wants to face it in the third quarter, and they damn sure don't want to see it in the fourth quarter. But because that is the most dominant thing in the NFL, Jalen Hurts all of a sudden sucks. Jalen Hurts all of a sudden is lucky to be here. Jalen Hurts was getting the MVP chance in Philadelphia before it was trendy, okay? Jalen Hurts, up until a couple of weeks ago, was actually ahead of Saquon Barkley in the MVP race by the odds makers. Jalen Hurts has been a runner-up to the MVP, Patrick Mahomes, who's also pretty good. And he was, again, the runner-up to the MVP, or was the MVP favorite, the odds-on MVP favorite, going into that San Francisco 49ers game before all went to hell. So I'm going to go ahead and assume pretty safely and confidently that Jalen Hurts doesn't suck, that Jalen Hurts isn't just lucky to be here, and that Jalen Hurts isn't riding the coattails of anyone. Now, if you want to say what's the star of the show, then yeah, the star of the show is Saquon behind this offensive line. Saquon behind this offensive line, pretty much from the, the 1 yard line to the 1 yard line, is the safest bet for the Eagles. But there's a reason that the Eagles have this play, the tush push, that works so well. There's a reason why they give that ball to Jalen Hurts to punch that in, because it's damn near guaranteed. So that's a pretty amazing thing. And there's only one player in football that has more rushing touchdowns than Jalen Hurts, and that guy's name's Derrick Henry. That's pretty good. Well, Derrick Henry's pretty good as long as he's not facing Cooper and Gene. We all know now. But anyway, yeah, I don't subscribe. Here's what it sounds like to me, to get this out of the way, because I wasn't aware of this until I heard the conversations in the locker room yesterday. And I'll let you hear from Saquon Barkley talking about Jalen Hurts and what's it like playing with him, and then also responding to the criticism about Jalen Hurts. This is what the Jalen Hurts slander sounds like to me. It sounds like, damn it, the Eagles are 8-0 in their last 8 games. The Eagles are the best team in the NFL. We need something to talk about. We need something to complain about. We need a pot to stir. Because you can't just have a nice thing, which is a dominant football team. You got to find a way to get a negative slant out of it. And I don't see it. I was open and honest. Call it as I saw it with Jalen Hurts and his horrific turnover run that he had from last year into this year. That seems to be pretty damn good. And then the other things about, like, I hear old arguments coming up about Jalen Hurts not surveying the field, Jalen Hurts not throwing the deep ball. Jalen Hurts is a quarterback, especially since he got rid of that turnover issue, has played some of the best quarterback I've seen him play. Like, in terms of surveying the field, going through progressions, trying to look off the safety, accuracy. I mean, the 3rd and 7th throw to Dallas Goedert was right on the money. Gave him just enough, let him just enough to make sure that he got that first down. He's played the best quarterback I've seen him play. Now, the interesting thing, though, is that he hasn't had to be nearly the star of the show that he has been in years past. 2022 being the perfect example of that. And why is that? Because as Devontae Smith, who practiced yesterday, by the way, which is a great thing, A.J. Brown have said, guys that are supposed to be worried about their own numbers, they're not. You know why? You got to feed Superman. Whether you're telling Superman and Saquon Barkley, you're telling Superman to let the cape out, or you're saying if you have Superman in the backfield, you give him the football and you let him do his thing. Everybody understands. And when Jalen Hurts hands that ball off to Saquon Barkley and he sees him break one for 70 or 72 yards or 25, or he's facing a 3rd and 17 against the Jags, and he just runs it in for a touchdown, no big deal. Easy peasy. You see him smiling. Because he ain't stopping that. Yeah, people are acting like Jalen Hurts is interchangeable. Like you can just have anybody go in there and do it. They don't realize what Jalen Hurts can open up for Saquon Barkley, being that he's such a good running quarterback, being that he can be so mobile, and being also that he can hit you over the top, that he could pull that ball out and put it on the money to a slanting A.J. Brown 3 consecutive times. Yeah, I'm not trading Jalen Hurts for anything. But he can bring in. You want Kenny Pickett? You want Kenny Pickett to be here? Yeah, no, I'm good. You want him to be slinging passes? Yeah, I'm okay. Eagles have won 8 straight games. People need something to talk about. For me, I'm going to talk about how amazingly unique this season has been for the Philadelphia Eagles, how incredible Saquon Barkley has been, and how everybody is on the same page. And this doesn't happen. If you lived through the T.O. and Donovan spat of 2004, 2004, 2005, if you went through all that, you know what it's like to have something special and then have it be gone a year and a half later. We were all excited, T.O. coming here, Super Bowl, this is amazing. He comes back, plays in the Super Bowl, was your best player in that Super Bowl, lose to the Patriots. And then the following year, it all goes to hell. I was one of the guys on his lawn, by the way. That was like my first assignment. All right, go to T.O.'s lawn and call in from there. Okay, sounds good. But that was so special and gone far too soon. This team has A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, this offensive line, and then Superman Saquon Barkley. It's pretty incredible. Oh, and by the way, you got number 1 defense in the NFL. Wow. I'm not going to try to find the skunk at the garden party here. I'm going to embrace how awesome this is and how this football team is exactly what we pine for year after year after year, most years. So without further ado, let's get into what Saquon Barkley was saying in the locker room yesterday. First and foremost, he was asked about the Jalen Hurts doubters. And he was also talking about what impresses him the most about Jalen Hurts.
He's a very smart player. I don't think we give him a lot of credit for that. I think we do, but from outside perspective, he's a really smart player. He's been doing a really good job taking care of the ball, putting us in positions to win football games. And I was talking about the other day with my family. I don't really know how to explain it, but like he has it. Like the it factor, like to win football games, like he has that. And then like they're like, well, how do you explain it? I don't really know. How do you explain that? Like you just know it, you see it. Like I don't think there's a lot of people who's gonna have a fumble snap on the 1-yard line and still find a way to score a touchdown. Like he has that to him, and throughout his whole career here, and go back to when he came in Alabama, and the success he had at Oklahoma, he just got that, and you can't coach that. It's hard to find, and I'm happy that I'm part of his team.
Exactly what you want to hear from one player to another. No issues there. But then the follow-up question, I think it was from Elliott Shore Parks, references the conversation people are having about, well, people are talking about Jalen like kind of being overrated and how he's not that good and quote-unquote being carried by this football team. The quarterback of the football team, an MVP candidate, a guy who's already played in the Super Bowl, a guy who had the best Super Bowl rating like ever, like efficiency rating ever, is being carried by this football team. Here's Saquon on the Jalen Hurts doubters.
I don't know. That's probably a question for everyone else. I don't. What's being carried? I mean, like, you know, make an argument. You can make an argument. You know, I know I'm getting MVP chance, but you can make an argument he's in the same boat. Especially how, you know, it's really much a quarterback award. And you know, the guys who's being mentioned with, I think he should be right up there with him. One of the best teams, and his stats matches it too. So I don't know why. I don't know why people have the idea of him. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is winning football games, and people can say whatever they want to say. But like I said, he has the it factor. He has that winning mentality, and I'm happy to be a part of his team.
You know, I'm just so sick and tired of all the love for Saquon Barkley. Let me tell you, I mean, this guy's just being carried by Jeff Stoutland. I mean, let's just call it as a say. Saquon, oh, he gets the numbers. DeAndre Swift's got numbers. Miles Sanders got numbers. I think Saquon Barkley is being carried by this offensive line. You know, this coaching staff's doing a great job. Vic Fangio's doing a great job. But I really think he's being carried by Howie Roseman. Okay? I just think he's being carried. We're not used to, look, this isn't our world. We're not used to this. We're not used to like loving a team and that team loving each other. And then they're awesome. Like, they're great. Like, this is not our, we're used to, no. This isn't right. Something's wrong here. More than one thing is wrong here. Hold on a second. The quarterback supports the hell out of the running back. The running back keeps shouting out the offensive line. The offensive line keeps shouting out their head coach or their offensive line coach. The defense is great. They love their coordinator, who apparently was supposed to be a jerk by all accounts in Miami. Now he's here in Philadelphia, and everybody loves him. Oh, and he's a Philadelphia sports fan too? What? This isn't supposed to happen. Everything's supposed to be good, great, grand. I'm not used to this world. Like, I thought the negative conversation this week would be, you know, this is a trap game. This is a letdown game against the Panthers. I know because I feel it. Oh, do you? Do you feel it? It's a letdown game, a trap game? Really? When you're in the locker room playing with these players, you're like, this is a trap game. Really? Interesting. Because they're not looking past anybody. I referenced this yesterday. I was doing an interview with my old friend, Rob Valivas, and he says to me, you know, one of the things like, hey, what do you like about this team so much? You know, other than the fact that they're winning. And I'm just like, they love to work. And they love to work with one another. And the idea of Nick Sirianni going to that locker room after they just beat the Ravens, and they're like, hey, we're working Monday. And everyone's like, yeah, we're working Monday. We'll be right back in the office. Usually Victory Monday is, hey, kick your feet up a little bit, relax, you know, hack around some video games, catch up with some friends and family maybe. And nope. They're back in the office, and they're working ahead of the Carolina Panthers. I love this team. If this ends prematurely, I will be so disappointed, because this is a team that, for me, has, for totally different reasons, but on the same level, like 93 Phillies vibes. This is a team that has like 2001 76ers vibes. This is a team that has like 2010 Philadelphia Flyer vibes. Like, there is just so much to love about this football team. And to know how much fun they're having. Like, look at Reed Blankenship and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Cooper DeJean and Quentin Mitchell and Darius Slay, and how much fun these guys, like, you just see them in the locker room. How much fun these guys are having playing with one another. How much fun it is to watch Cooper DeJean. How much fun it is to watch Quentin Mitchell. You know, when he's in frame, because he's rarely ever in frame because his guy's so covered. Like, Howie Roseman's getting love more than he ever has for his draft class. A guy like Zach Bond waiting for the right opportunity and the right system and the right coach. It all comes together for him this year. He's with the highest rated inside linebacker from week 13. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty special, actually. I refuse to look at this and just be like, well, the quarterback sucks. There's no easier low-hanging fruit than, yeah, it's all great, but the quarterback sucks. Like oh my God. Drives me crazy. I'm a Jalen Hurts guy. And people don't understand. Jalen Hurts, everyone wants to talk about Lane Johnson, and they want to talk about Jordan Mailata going into the locker room or going into the Nick Sirianni's office and being like, hey, this is that, whatever, and laying down the law, so to speak, and talking about how running the football is exactly what this team needs to do. We got Saquon, let's go. Let's not forget that one of the people to start that conversation was Jalen Hurts. And let's not forget that coming out of the look, I acknowledge that there was probably a riff between Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni and everything that went down with Brian Johnson. Not a good thing. How that was Jalen Hurts' guy. Not a good thing. But I love the idea of coming out of the bye week, Jalen Hurts, unsolicited, after a couple solicited remarks regarding Nick Sirianni, how he couldn't say one nice thing about him, and then unsolicited talked about him and Nick Sirianni getting on the same page, having a conversation to make sure that this offense was clicking on all cylinders and being the best it could possibly be. Jalen didn't have to do that. Jalen could have gone the route of other athletes and just pouted and continued to grovel, I guess, and be depressed about the fact that his guy wasn't here anymore, and now he's going to make Kellen Moore look good. Now he's going to make Nick Sirianni look good. No, he's like, hey, how do we win? Let's win. How many times have you seen it in sports where the coach won't get along with player won't get along with coach, and there's talent there, there's potential there, there's proven talent, like a Super Bowl appearance, for instance, an NFC championship, for instance, and then you get close to it last year before everything goes to hell. And this year, as I said, going into the Brazil game there against the Packers, there's never been more pressure on a week 1 game than there was in week 1 of this year. Because if the Eagles lose that game to the Packers, then Jalen Hurts still has turnover issues. Nick Sirianni still can't coach. Jeffrey Lurie should have fired Sirianni and brought in Kellen Moore maybe as a head coach. I don't know. But instead, they went through a not so great open to the season for 4 games. And then they righted the ship. Thank God for an early bye week. 8 wins in a row. Nick Sirianni's put his name on a list with Bill Belichick, John Madden, just to name a few. Curly Lambeau, for crying out loud, people. 3 straight years of 10-2. That's pretty good. Now keep it going. And I think last year's mistakes are feeding into what's making this year flourish, because they're not going to repeat those mistakes. A couple other things. Now, I don't have anything from Nick Sirianni yesterday. He said everything a coach should say, and we're not going to overlook the Panthers. We're going to concentrate. Blah, 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 blah. Jalen Hurts is great. Doesn't understand people questioning him. He's great, but a couple of things that Saquon got into yesterday. Oh, I didn't even do a full setup of the show. I'm sorry. We will talk about the 76ers a little bit later for people that want to hear about the possibility of Joel Embiid playing tomorrow. We'll get to that. But anyway, a couple other things. Saquon Barkley was asked whether or not he hears the MVP talk. Do you hear the MVP talk? This is the mindset you want in your player.
Noise and hoopla and buzz kind of seep into your.
It's not real. It's not real. So it's kind of like, it's cool. It's beautiful to hear it, but at the same time, you can't get caught up into it because, when it's good, they're gonna say positive things about you. You can't get caught up into it. And when it's bad, they're gonna say negative things about you. You can't get caught up into it. So I think, how my career went, in New York, coming off hot, rookie of the year, and the next great running back in this, and then tear my ACL, and I'm never going to be this again, then coming back and playing a high level, and then going back down again. So I think all that is a blessing in disguise and kind of prepared me for the type of season I'm having right now. So, just staying, and I'm blessed and surrounded by tremendous people, whether it's in this locker room, or my family, or mentors, or people that I can pick up the phone and talk to, not keeping me humble, but staying grounded and staying locked in, and knowing the thing that matters most is winning football games.
Yeah. I know it comes up a lot about players getting injured and whether or not that has an effect on them later in their careers, as far as a motivating factor, not as far as like a fear factor. But the thing that I absolutely love is players acknowledging that there's moments where they're bigger than the game. And everybody wants to talk about how they're bigger than the game and they're so great. And watching Saquon at Penn State and then watching him play for the Giants, I was just like, this guy has the ability to be the greatest ever. Before he was ever an Eagle, I thought that. And then the ACL injury happened. And I'm one of the people talking about how great Saquon Barkley could be while he was with the Giants, unfortunately. And then he hears the noise, the bad noise, not the good noise where you could be the greatest ever. But you hear the noise about, will he come back? Can he come back? Well, he's probably done. He can't do it because of the offensive line in front of him. Can he do it with the Giants? Wow, the Giants picked Daniel Jones over him? Tobias Harris over me? Daniel Jones over me? Deuces. See you later. Not going to franchise tag me again. Thanks for everything. I'm going to go to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm going to be on the heels of setting the all-time single-season rushing record in my first year with the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to be 109 yards away from breaking LaShawn McCoy's franchise record for rushing yards in a single season. That's what he is right now. Going into week 14, he is 109 yards shy of breaking LaShawn McCoy's record of 1,607 yards in 2011. That's pretty spectacular. So I love the idea of the noise not being real because it's not. I mean, are people physically talking? Yes, they're physically talking. Are they saying things? Yes, they're saying things. But what they're saying, what they're talking about are all things that could happen. That's nothing that has happened. It's up to Saquon Barkley and his play, of course, his health, this offensive line, this team, and their fortunes or misfortunes going forward as to whether or not he will set the single-season NFL record or whether or not he'll set the Eagles' single-season record. It's all fake. Doesn't mean anything until it happens. And even when it does happen, do more. Jalen Hurts talking about momentum. I loved what he had to say about momentum a couple of weeks ago. Momentum's not real. Like, yeah, you might have confidence because of a long string of success, if that's what you want to call momentum, but it's not a real thing. It could change at any moment. The other team makes one big play. One guy gets beaten coverage. One ball gets tipped at the line of scrimmage. One errant throw. And everything's different. Coaching decisions. One different coaching decision. And everything's different. Talk about momentum. Not a real thing. Not a real thing. But as far as the records that are out there to be broken in front of Saquon Barkley, I love the way he answered this because he's just like, oh, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. I love that he's aware. I didn't know that. I'm not playing for that. Yeah. I love that he's aware. He was asked yesterday whether or not it's something he thinks about. The NFL all-time rushing record in a season and the Eagles' single-season rushing record. He said he familiarized himself with the Eagles' history.
I'm well aware of it. That's something, once I got here, I looked up the history of the Eagles running backs, and I wasn't familiar with William Montgomery. Am I saying that correct? Wilbert Montgomery. I wasn't familiar with him. So I even got to do a dive in him and learn about him and Westbrook and Shady. That's your goal. You want to come in here, you want to leave a legacy on a place, on a franchise. I had the same mindset when I was in New York. Sadly that came up short. But yeah, I'm aware of that, but that's not like the driving factor of it. The driving factor is to win football games, put ourselves in position to make a run and go win it all. But yeah, I am aware of the things that I can accomplish, but the way I accomplish that is by sticking to the script.
I don't want anyone being down on Saquon Barkley for not knowing who Wilbert Montgomery was. I try to keep in mind I'm young for Wilbert Montgomery and Saquon Barkley is super young for Wilbert Montgomery. So it's a bit of a rough one. But I love the idea that it at least came in and was just like, okay, what has happened here before? I'm going to be wearing this Eagles jersey. I'm even going to be wearing a Kelly Green Eagles jersey. What is it? What is it? As I drop the espresso. What is it that I need to do here to be the best this team's ever had, the best this team's ever seen? What do I need to do? Keep that coming. Keep that energy. I love that he familiarized himself with the history here. And I also love the idea of it's something that he's striving for, but it's not the end all be all because, as he put it, you get that pretty little trophy at the end of the season. That's the ultimate goal. Everything else is just nice things nice things to have while you're going along for the ride. So I absolutely love that. That's pretty much what he got into yesterday. Now, the best part. Loved everything he had to say about Jalen Hurts. Loved everything he had to say about the records and all that. But what stole the show for me is what I led the show with, which was Nolan Smith. Now, Nolan Smith just played, I believe, a career high in snaps. 83% of the snaps, I believe it was, against the Baltimore Ravens. And this is the first game that he played without Brandon Graham. Now, throughout the season, going into this game, Nolan Smith played 66% of the snaps. He jumped all the way up to play 88% of the snaps. That's pretty incredible. So he was asked if he feels pressure without Brandon Graham playing for the Eagles right now. Do you feel more pressure without BG on the field with you? Here's the way he answered.
Brandon Graham up first here.
No, I don't feel no pressure. I feel more of a attack, more of a do it for him. I know people thought in the Baltimore game I was playing at the end, but no, I was for real. Like, everything from now on we doing for BG, because I was once that senior that left out and I couldn't do nothing but cheer the guys on, and I know how that felt, and I don't never want that on nobody because it really do hurt.
That's exactly how you want him to answer that question. Like, do you feel pressure? No, I don't feel pressure. Like, I feel like I'm not going to carry the baton that was handed to me now in an unfortunate circumstance with BG being out. And excuse me, he was playing 44% of the snaps before this game against the Ravens. Then after this game against the Ravens, he went out there and he played 88% of the snaps. That's pretty damn incredible. And he produced. And since the bye week, he's been one of the best pass rushers in the NFL with a win rate off the charts. He has gotten praise from Lane Johnson, and he has gotten confidence from his coaching staff. I will never forget listening to Vic Fangio talk about Nolan Smith in the preseason when he got a sack against the Ravens. And the question was, so is it encouraging that Nolan Smith got that sack? And Vic Fangio, in the still getting to know you phase of Vic Fangio being here in Philadelphia, it was like, hey, he got a sack. That's got to be good, right? He was like, well, he was unblocked. He was unblocked. Like, he wasn't touched. But he's fast. He's always been fast. He's always had speed. But, and then Vic Fangio was like, well, I sound like a jerk. I probably got to say something nice. And he was like, but, you still got to make the play. So he did a good job of making the play. And everything that Nolan Smith did well to show that, maybe he's trending in the right direction. Vic Fangio was like, yeah, you still got to wait to see it. He's got to learn how to be physical. And with that challenge, he has risen to the occasion. And now another challenge is being put in front of him. Like, going into this year, 2 challenges for Nolan Smith. Are you healthy? Can you stay healthy? So, health. And then the other is, do you belong here? You're a first-round pick who produced nothing last year. Do you belong here? He has exceeded my wildest dreams for what he would be able to accomplish this year. He has turned himself into a very good pass rusher. And it's not just speed. Will he get knocked on his ass? Sure, he's not perfect. Is he still learning a lot of the game? Learning the NFL? Certainly. But he has already exceeded my expectations. And I love the idea of him not taking on pressure, but taking on pride in filling in for a guy like BG. Now, here's the thing that drives me crazy, and it's something as a non-athlete that I will never understand about the professional athletes in the world. How some of them can be talking to a legend. Dawkins is a guy that I'll always use because that's the one that jumps to mind due to my own experience with talking to players about him. If you're not playing, we don't want to hear from you. I never understood that. That means, hold on, because the guy can't physically play because of an injury, he's worth nothing? Is that what we're saying? Because Nolan Smith has the right attitude surrounding Brandon Graham. He was asked about BG's presence on the field, despite the fact, presence on the sideline. And if you didn't see it, Brandon Graham broke down the defensive huddle before the game. Here he is talking about what Brandon Graham brings to the table, even though he's not playing.
Brandon's presence like on the sideline for the Raiders game.
Man, his presence on not only in the sideline, the locker room, everything, man. I just love BG, and that's the whole reason we're doing it, and we got to keep going for him.
How often did you talk to him, would you say, during the game?
Man, a lot. Talk to him a lot, what he see, because, 15-year eyes versus your 2 eyes look way different. So, man, he's seeing things that, we could really get into.
15-year eyes. 15-year eyes versus 2-year eyes. Absolutely love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Couple of the news and notes from yesterday's press conferences and whatnot. Nobody's taking the Panthers lightly, as you would expect. Jalen's having a great season. Barkley, I played for you. Oh, Nolan Smith to Jalix Hunt. Play like your mama's watching. I think that's good advice. Play like your mama's watching. I think that's phenomenal advice. So, yeah. Love what you got out of that. Here's something I didn't love and haven't loved. The 76ers recently. Now, Joel Embiid might be playing. No, they did win 2 in a row, so that's good. That's good. But the Sixers last night dug themselves in a 12-point hole after the first quarter. And then roared back in the second quarter, took a little bit of control in the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter, things started to really fall apart. And Franz Wagner is just a guy they couldn't stop, unfortunately. So how about that? Tyrese Maxey, great example. Tyrese Maxey is a guy that the Philadelphia 76ers needed a lot more from last night. And last night they didn't get it. And in the last 2 games, albeit with the exception of maybe 3 minutes at the end of the game there against the Hornets, Tyrese Maxey went out there and was really good. Hit his foul shots in the final 3 minutes there against the Hornets. And last night, it never clicked into high gear. You can argue about foul shots or getting fouled or whatever. And, yeah, he got fouled more often than it was called, unfortunately. But with Tyrese Maxey in the last 2 games, he has gone 1 for 14 from beyond the arc. 0 for 7 last night. If you're not going to have Joel Embiid and you're not going to have Paul George, and I was pretty much expecting Paul George to not play in last night's game because he had played 37 minutes in the previous, which was a Sixer high for him. That's Tyrese Maxey after the game. Are you all right? What's going on? You want to show White Kitty? This is White Kitty. Hi, White Kitty. Very original name. We stress creativity. Hi, good morning. You want to say good morning?
Good morning.
All right. Did you, what? I just gave you apple or orange juice. Did you make an espresso for yourself? Liar. She can't make it. If she could, I'd be asking her to make one a lot. I don't like that cough, young lady. I don't like that cough one bit. But Tyrese Maxey 1 for 14 from beyond the arc the last 2 games. Got to be better than that. Jared McCain, on the other hand, cleaned up a couple of those turnover issues. Jared McCain was great. That's what I learned last night. Jared McCain 100% wants to go out there and just be the guy to put the nail in the coffin. Love that about his attitude. And want to continue to see it from him. But yeah, Joel Embiid might be in action come tomorrow night against the Magic when they play the second leg of this home and stay-at-home series that they're having. Yeah. So that's 7 o'clock tomorrow night. See how that one plays out.
9 o'clock tomorrow. Hey, don't throw it out.
I'm not throwing it. I'm holding it over here.
Hey, it's my stuff.
Here you go. Come on over here. There's wires over there. Thank you very much. There you go. Dad mode. All right. Let me tell you about the game time. Can I do this, Reed, so I can afford that good mac and cheese for you?
Why?
Or the good dino nuggets?
What's the good dino nugget?
Let me tell you about the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, use promo code FARZY, and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Want to go to the game? Want to go to the concert? Want to go to the comedy show? Download the Game Time app to your phone. Yeah, that's right. Also use the Game Time Picks feature on the Game Time app, which allows you to filter out all the fluff. Yes, sweetheart. Yes, go for it. There you go. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code FARS to get $20 off your first purchase, and use the Game Time Picks feature, which allows you to get right down to it. The best seats at the best prices on the Game Time app. That's right. The Game Time app. Also, don't forget to toggle the all-in pricing feature, which allows you to see exactly what you're paying before you check out. And you could view your seat before you buy it, so you know exactly what you're buying. And you can take the guesswork out of buying tickets. They have last-minute ticket deals, flash ticket deals. They even have ticket deals for an hour after the event starts. So let's say you're going to a concert or a comedy show. All you got to do is wait an hour after it starts. You missed the headline, or excuse me, you missed the opening act, you missed the middle, but you see that headliner that you've so desperately wanted to see, and you see him at a great, or her, at a great discounted rate on the Game Time app. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code FARSY, and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsNation.com. Let's get into the chat check and see how your people are doing on this fine Thursday morning. April, good morning. Sean Gillespie, good morning. Saquon makes an impressive impact. Can you draw Santa?
I don't know how to draw Santa.
Well, try.
Wait,
You want another piece of paper?
yeah.
There you go, dog. Saquon makes such an impressive
Daddy gave me two papers.
Well, then draw two Santas.
Oh. I'll draw one.
How about draw one Santa and then Mrs. Claus?
Yeah.
All right, good talk.
What does Santa look like?
No idea. I've never seen him before. I'm sleeping when he comes.
I'm not going to sleep when he comes. I'm staying awake. I have to see. I have to draw the paper, see what he looks like again. Wait, it feels like a big flat tummy. Got the bottom.
Saquon makes such an impressive impact that Jalen doesn't have to be Superman, but he's Batman who fights smarter because he's invulnerable.
Dad,
I love that. Take my pen. Okay. Don't tease her, sweetheart. Thank you. April, I think the man cold got him down for the count. Me? I'm on the other side of it. Like, I don't want to brag, but I did go to Costco yesterday. Jason, what's going on? Good morning. Lucky to be alive this morning. Ooh, with the snow, and there was some flurries last night. Sean Kilrain, good morning. Unlike last offseason, Eagles GM Howie Roseman is going to have some difficult decisions with Philadelphia's own free agents this offseason. Here's the thing. I don't think the Eagles are going to do to Zach Bond what they did to TJ Edwards, which is be like, hey, we've found a decent linebacker, and then move on from him. They found more than a decent linebacker, and they found even more than just a decent fit for what Vic Fangio wants to do. I would be shocked if Zach Bond is not here next year.
Yeah,
Shocked. Okay. All right. You got eyes. He's got 2 feet. I don't know what happened up here.
It just broke by itself.
It just broke by itself. Okay. Here. This will help you write. Right on. Use that as a backing as opposed to the carpet.
How do you do that? So
The rug.
You
have the next one? You have the next one?
Got it. Put all these papers that you up there.
Okay. Oh, all right. There you go.
Now I'm right, Miss. It's white. What's her name? What's her like? What's Santa Claus weight?
Luke Skylifter, the 3 most guaranteeable things in Philadelphia: Tush Push, Joel Embiid getting hurt, and Farzi being late to start a show. You got me there. Yes, sweetheart.
What's Santa's mom?
Santa's mom?
No, Santa's like
Wife?
yeah.
Mrs. Claus.
Got it.
I didn't know how to answer the first part of that question. Santa's mom?
Okay, Mrs. Claus has a little tummy dog.
Sean Kilrain, Mekhi Becton, Zach Bond, Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, Isaiah Rodgers Sr. Who are you signing, Farzi? Well, here's the funny thing about all these names, and I don't know what other GMs would do. Well, other GMs would probably choose one and pay that person. The other,
My Mrs. Claus, but I'm doing more for. So he's gonna go on the toilet. He's sick, and he's sleeping, and with his kids.
okay.
Santa Claus has kids.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm learning.
So I played Santa Claus upstairs, and Santa Claus is coming to town with these kids.
All right. All right. And I hate going this route, but I trust in Howie. I wouldn't be shocked if at least two of these guys were on there. Josh Sweat, I could see going elsewhere. But as far as Zach Bond, Mekhi Becton, he always finds a way. And whatever the salary cap is now, and I always tell people this, and always want to say you can't do it because of the cap. You always got to consider the guys that could be restructured. So that's pretty good. Monoliths, I'm almost done, sweetheart.
That's his kid's hair. It's very long.
Yeah, I like that. Long hair?
Yeah.
His kid's a musician?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'll put that right on top of the other ones. Thank you very much.
I'm done.
Thank you, sweetheart.
That when I come down, you always have to put this down when I'm writing.
Okay. Noted. Thank you. Rodney, what's going on? Far as whoa. Careful, sweetheart. There we go. Just got to watch out for those wires right there. Yeah. Far as the what I say, trust in Nick. Jalen ain't Donovan. Very true to that. Jalen Hurts got a more sensitive than Jalen Hurts got to be more sensitive than we think because Nick is praising Jalen unsolicited. He's not praising him unsolicited. He was asked about Jalen. Why is Nick praising him unsolicited? No, he's not. It's not unsolicited. It's solicited. He's being asked. It's fun when you win. Slagger, absolutely. Go Sixers. Rodgers wouldn't do that. Coach should say good things about their quarterbacks. Yes, they should. Northeast Sports, what's going on? Why would there be doubt on Jalen? He has been playing the way he should be playing. Fair enough. Monoliths, please, with those wires.
Is that coffee?
That's not coffee. That's water. Old water.
What?
Maybe Saquon doesn't get the doubt because it sounds like nothing but hate considering Jalen is playing good and still receiving doubt. I'm with you there. You and I are on the same page. Ryan, it beats stinks. DJ, Mr. Sandman, what's going on? Brandon Graham blocked me on Twitter for criticizing teammate Carson Wentz. That hurt my feelings, but got to respect him for that. On that note, BG went through this like blocking rampage where he just blocked everybody. My favorite thing is I was doing this event. I was at Chickies and Pete's, and Brandon Graham was the eagle, like the guest eagle there. So he comes in. I had met him a couple times before. We're not friends, but like we had a good rapport. So he comes in. We actually really hit it off. We have this great conversation. He's signing autographs, doing the event with me. We're laughing, having a good time. And then I was like, oh, I should like slide into those DMs. No, I should hit him up in the DMs. Like, hey, man, that was a lot of fun. You know, thanks for coming out. Appreciate it, you know. And then I go to send it, and I'm blocked. Like Brandon Graham was just throwing bro hugs on me, like we were like old high school teammates reunited. And he's like, and then I'm blocked. And I don't even think I ever said anything about Brandon Graham on social media, but I was blocked. It's pretty funny. Sixers' longest Chiriani is reined in. This coaching formula works. How about that? People saying hi, little toots. Deontay, what's going on? Hey, shout out for you having a princess around, girl dad gang. Yeah, man. That girl has a better sense of humor than Farzi. That's talent, right? Right? Deontay, I feel you, man. Mine are just at school. Sean was on point with that. Sean Gillespie, fatherhood, yeah. Lil Toots needs to do an ad read when we get to reading. Well, here's where we're at in the stage of reading with Lil Toots. The stage we're at is She opens a book and she improvs what she thinks the book is about. And that is impressive. Face says, no, I think I know what you're referencing. Thank you, T-Bro. Resting dad face. Thank you, Tate. Dad mode engaged. Right? Santa is real. Seen him today. Excuse me. He had an aura around him like Michael Jackson. Moon walking down the chimney. Deontay. It's hate because Josh Allen and Jalen's numbers are near identical, but somehow the Eagles win in spite of Jalen, but the Bills are being carried by Josh Allen. Right? Don't get it. Don't get it at all. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful as per usual. Hey, your 10-9-8 76ers back at it tomorrow night, looking to win 3 of their last 4. So you got that going for you. Your Philadelphia Flyers looking for 4 wins in a row and at least 3 goals in 4 straight games. They go up against the Panthers tonight in South Philly, 7 o'clock puck drop. Look forward to that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the Farzy Show YouTube channel. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the Jacob Media YouTube channel. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. And make sure you hit like and subscribe on the Seth Joyner Show YouTube channel as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. My name is Mark Farzetta. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow morning. See you guys then. Ugh. Just one more dad thing. See you guys then. Bye.